Alex, welcome to the Exchange Bar Kitchen.
Thank you for having me.
I'm delighted to have you. Before we get into our discussion today, I'm going to ask you the all-important question. What coffee are you having?
Okay, easing me in nice and slowly then, yeah. Just a black coffee.
Good.
Nice and simple, yeah. Nothing. I might treat myself to a flat white now and again, but I like to just minimise the stuff that I have. So black coffee. No
Amazing.
nonsense.
I think that's a strong choice. I appreciate it. I am having the same actually. I'm snapped today. I'm on an Americano. So excellent. We are fueled for the discussion.
Yeah, good.
First, before we dive into our topics, you're at Miroma. Let me know what you do. Tell us about yourself and your career.
Yeah, so I'm digital lead at Miroma Founders Network. I've been there for about 3 years. My background is I kind of started off in analytics doing market mix modelling.
Okay.
Then I moved into kind of media buying because although I was doing all this modelling, I had actually no idea really what media buying was and stuff. So do all the analysis, but I really wanted to kind of get into the crux of what impressions actually were and what CPMs meant and all that sort of stuff. So went into media buying on the digital side of things. I've done that for, I probably did that for the first 6 years of my career. Then I kind of moved into kind of like smaller agency life, and that's where you just become a multidisciplinary marketer and you learn so much more. So I'm digital lead at Miroma Founders Network, but my background is pretty broad considering the types of businesses I've worked at.
Amazing. And you mentioned there that that move into the smaller agency world and what's involved in that. We're going to chat about that today. We're going to talk about the agency landscape and how things are shifting. How do you see the agency landscape at the moment in terms of kind of challenges, HoldCos? How is it all looking?
Yeah, I think the trend that we're seeing at the moment it's been going on for a while, and it's probably a much more kind of mature stage now. So we kind of see that being kind of like the status quo going forward. So as you kind of pointed out, the big HoldCos all been grouping together. Maybe we'll get to a point where there's just one. They all just merge into themselves as one big one. But that's for these huge conglomerate businesses, advertisers that are looking for breadth and big infrastructure.
Yeah.
It leaves a lot of room for other agencies, these independent agencies that essentially the way that they kind of need to kind of stay alive really is through differentiation, being flexible and adaptable, and that differentiation is a really key thing. You need to pick what it is you're good at and essentially just hire the talent to kind of make that your focal point. So I think what we're seeing is the big groups coming together and then just lots of kind of different agencies offering slightly different things. And then I guess to the side to that as well, you've got the platforms trying to kind of get in there as well. So the likes of the Googles and the Metas, obviously they've been taking a big slice of the pie off of all of the traditional TV channels, traditional media channels, but now they want a kind of bit of the pie of what the agencies have been offering as well, and they want to talk to them as well. So you've kind of got them in the side, kind of making moves and being a little bit disruptive, but I don't think it's too much of a problem as long as you have the confidence and the trust of the clients that you work with, because again, they know ultimately that they want you to spend more advertising spend on their platform. So it's never going to feel completely unbiased. So yeah.
Really interesting. And there are, as ever, so many challenges for the agencies. I think that's a really interesting one actually that you've mentioned regarding the platforms and taking, as they continue to spread out, taking bits of different pies, and the agency one being the latest with everything that's going on. How have you seen the situation develop in terms of your offering to clients, what you're doing? As we barrel into Q2 of this year, how has Q1 fared for you?
Yeah, Q1's it's really exciting actually. Our kind of point of differentiation is that we work with kind of ambitious, high-growth businesses that are facing these growth challenges. We're kind of, I'd say, a kind of small agency, part of a group, and we have a kind of partnership with the largest UK community of entrepreneurs and business leaders. And that partnership really is just kind of turbo boosted kind of our offering, but also given us really exciting opportunities with businesses that are starting up, but mostly those ones that are really kind of like scaling up, and maybe they haven't done marketing before, or maybe they are doing marketing, but they've been a little bit more focused on the performance side of things, because again, when you're early stage of a business, like numbers really matter, and you need to know the impact that every pound that you're spending is having an impact. So that's naturally where why people would go to performance first. But these businesses have high ambitions of growth, and they won't do that alone with performance. So taking them on that journey and instilling confidence that investment in brand and awareness is really important to get them to that level. So right now, Q1 for us has been pretty exciting with that partnership that we have with this community. We've got quite a big pipeline. We've had a lot of conversations and pitches, and some kind of new clients already come in Q1.
Great.
And that's looking really strong for the rest of the year. We've been hiring, so we've got a few new hires already in this quarter, really kind of important roles, brought some great people in. It's really good for us as well. We've really expanding what we're doing in the US market as well. So we have a presence there. We're hired some more people over there as well, which is great. And then as well, I guess the other thing as well that's, I guess all businesses right now are scrambling for, particularly agencies, is the emergence of all this new tech that's become available to us, and we're figuring out how to use it. I'm going to try to refrain from using the word AI because it gets thrown around quite a lot. I'm just going to say that this new tech, but even just this quarter, our capabilities kind of internally have expanded. Think things like creative, think audience planning, think like measurement and attribution. Yes, we have some capability kind of in our business and particularly in the group, but we can offer a lot more of these services at scale. And I think a lot of this tech really is kind of democratizing things for smaller businesses, smaller agencies, and we've got like a few new kind of products that we're like kind of trialing out with new clients, seeing what happens, taking that feedback, improving the process. So yeah, it's I think 26 is going to look far different to all the other years that we've done. Every year we say, you look back on the previous year and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, we've moved on quite away from that. But I think this year is probably the one where things are going to look completely different.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's that we've had that. I like calling it the new tech. Actually, that's a nice little little overview for it. So the new tech, it's sort of bedded in now, and we're understanding a little bit better its capabilities, like you said, from a creative point of view, from a workflow point of view, from an audience kind of a data point of view as well. As you're working with kind of growing and high growth clients, are they working out how to harness the new tech as well? Are they kind of finding that they have, as smaller companies, more capabilities than they previously had?
I think a lot of these businesses, like they're like I said, they're kind of like challenger brands. So kind of tech for a lot of them is kind of at the centre of what they do, and that's how they've been able to kind of disrupt the more kind of established models within the industries that they're pushing into. But even still, that tech might be at the centre of their business, but then because we've got all this new tech coming in, just how they do some of the things that are not necessarily core to their business, for example, lead generation on website or nurturing people that have come into their CRM. We've just got off a call with a client who's is implementing something new on their website that will essentially do a lot of the kind of heavy lifting with a lot of the questions people might have before they go ahead and kind of like make a booking. What we've seen with the likes of, I'll say ChatGPT, I'm not saying AI, but the likes of those is that people are coming to them better informed. So when they kind of like have a conversation with them and there's an inquiry, the questions they're asking are so different to the questions they were asking 12 months ago. And they kind of need to kind of like get on top of that. So it's like, if they're not coming to us for early stage research, they're doing it elsewhere. When they do come to us, like we need to, be able to kind of like field all these questions that they have. So just helping with that is kind of one example of that.
Yeah, definitely. It's how, I think that's how people are getting more savvy with new tech is how to talk to it and how to harness it better. From the challenger, the smaller agency side, and dealing with challenger clients as well, has kind of a quick transition into a new tech and a new way of being, has being on the challenger side been helpful? Has it allowed perhaps test and learn and quick experimentation where a larger, huge-sized HoldCo may struggle?
Yeah, I think it's the mentality, and I think it's just the people that are kind of within your business. Again, because people in our business have that mentality, that kind of aligns a lot better with the types of people we're dealing with, who are running these businesses. They have dozens and dozens of challenges. They don't know what challenge is going to be thrown in front of them the kind of next day, and they're not looking just for suppliers. They're looking for partners that can help them navigate that. We've done this multiple times with brands, so I think when we're faced with these new techs or these kind of new challenges that come in, we can kind of talk in their language, but also as well, like the team that we have as well, like we're curious, we're flexible, we're resilient, and we just kind of have that drive to kind of solve problems, and that's what these types of businesses, they're the kind of people they want to be working with. Like if there's a limitation, that shouldn't be a barrier, it should be a kind of prompt to try and fix it. And if you can kind of demonstrate that with the businesses you're working with, they just feel more confident in like where you're going to get them to, and just the outcomes that might raise from some of the things that we're recommending.
Yeah, there's a nice compatibility there, I think, in what you've said with who you're working with, and that desire to, work with a team that not only has the know-how and can kind of guide you through with years of experience, but also it's like, this is a crazy / cool idea. Can we run with it? And they'll say, yeah, sure, let's see how it works. I like that. I like that kind of experimentation almost, and there's a lot of joy in doing that with clients, I imagine. Yeah,
I mean, if you don't work in that way, you don't have that mindset, like you don't get very far with these clients. Like you kind of touched on, like test and learn is something that just kind of gets for everyone kind of wants to test and learn, but like they're going to come to that already kind of they're not coming to you necessarily like, how do we solve this solution? They will to a degree, but they have ideas on how they do it, how they might get around that themselves. So it's about us, I guess, kind of coaching that, supporting that, working with them on that, being as curious to like test that out as they are. And then also, again, because of our experience, particularly like on the media buying side of things, we know what will work, we know what won't work, but we're always like, well, let's not just go off of pre-assumption of how things are going to land. It's, okay, let's test it.
See how it goes.
Yeah.
Try it again, do something else.
Yeah.
It's great, and it's kind of, it must be one of, I'm sure there are many challenges involved in smaller agency landscape, but it must be one of the joys. What do you enjoy about it, and what differentiates it, do you think, from the larger scale?
Yeah, like I worked at larger scale, really enjoyed it. There's some great things in there. I think what I found though when I first moved into a kind of smaller agency, so first small agency I went to, there was like a team of 5 of us. Miroma founders is bigger than that, but that's kind of where I started. Yeah. And the types of businesses we were working with at the time, some of them didn't have marketing teams. Sometimes it might just be a one man, one woman sort of band. Yeah. And I very quickly I had to learn so much more. I was really good at like the analytical side of things. I was good media buyer, planner, but I didn't know anything about how to launch a website. I didn't know anything about like brand identity and brand positioning. I didn't know anything about SEO. Really how to use Google Analytics, because again, if you work at a big agency, like realistically, you're not going to, no brand's going to give you access to the website analytics. So I had to do all that. And I think in that period of time, that was probably 6 years ago when I started at that small agency, I would say I'm a multidisciplinary marketer now. Even though my specialism is digital, I'm the digital lead where I am now, but I feel very confident in my ability to have conversations about all things, not just marketing, but business as well. So we're marketers at our core, but we can kind of have conversations, kind of almost go toe to toe with some of our clients on the challenges that they're facing, that even sit outside of that, because so many people within our business and in the group and then part of the network we've got have got that experience as business owners. Like there's some people in the group that are unicorn, that have built unicorn businesses. So I think it's just it's the confidence that you have in your ability to be able to solve a problem because of the experience and the challenges you get thrown at you.
Yeah, and it's it's a way of adapting and surviving. You just become knowledgeable about these things along the way, and you pick up as part of a smaller business, just like you say, multidisciplinary. Which brings me on to, I'm delighted to be able to announce on a coffee with that you're going to be joining us as a monthly columnist. I feel like we should have some kind of scarf and a handshake, like signing for a new team. But no, we're going to be covering stuff in a column for Exchange Wire, talking about the kind of challenger mindset and how the small agency landscape is looking. So welcome to the team.
Yeah, thank you. Really looking forward to just, I guess, putting pen to paper and just kind of scribbling my thoughts down, and hopefully it's insightful for some people that are kind of reading it. But yeah.
No, it absolutely will be, and I'm pleased to have you involved. So, well, that's the first for a coffee with. But yeah, thank you very much for your time today, Alex. We'll look forward to hearing more from you each month.
Thank you. Cheers. Appreciate it.
Lovely. Take care.